Hey guys, this is the most budget-friendly setup that includes both road racing and drifting in my opinion. At the time, I did a lot of research and came to these conclusions regarding both value and performance. First off, we have the wheelbase. I've chosen the T300RS GT. It's a bit more expensive than the Logitech G29 and G920, but the Logitech apparently has issues when keeping up with certain cars and transitions for drifting. I know a lot of people have success with the Logitech G29 and 920 for drifting, but I think the T300RS is still the budget-friendly standard when it comes to drifting. It has a bit more capacity for force feedback, and especially if you're concerned about a certain steering aesthetic, like not crossing your hands for transitions, it's pretty important to have a certain level of force feedback from the wheel. The T3PA pedals that come with the T300RS GT are acceptable, but I'll definitely be looking into load cell pedals in the future. The brake mod does a decent job, but it's insanely stiff in the last 90% or so, but it's better than nothing. I've tried it without the brake mod, and there's an annoying dead zone at the very end of the pedal, which was probably built in from the start, for manufacturing tolerances or something of that nature. You probably won't get perfect trail braking with this pedal set, but it's good for its price point. Next up, we have the wheel stand itself. The GT Omega wheel stand isn't too expensive, and one of the good things is that it's quite portable, although a bit bulky. So this is great if you live in a space-compromised place. I even put this wheel stand with everything attached to it in my old Toyota 86, and there were no issues with space. There are some problems, however. There's a bit of flex when using the shifter, and it doesn't stay so planted on the ground for heavy braking. Granted though, that I do have it on a piece of carpet so my downstairs neighbors are not suffering. To solve this issue, I actually have a belt attached to my seat to the rig in order to keep it from moving away. The fourth and fifth items next are optional for sure. The SHH shifter is made in Spain, and there are so many customization options with this shifter. It's made from plastic, but it still feels solid for what it is. You can change the strength of the throws, but I have it set up pretty softly to work with the flex of the wheel stand. Your other option in this price range would be the Amazon and eBay shifter, but I don't have experience with that. In reviews, I've heard that the mechanism for shifting doesn't feel as good as the SHH shifter, and most of them don't have a sequential mode. Lastly, we have the Amazon eBay Handbrake. You can pretty much go with any brand because they all look the same. I think some of them come with extra tools and replacement parts, but they are probably made in the same factory. It works as you'd expect, and I've never had any issues. Again, for drifting, the last two aren't that necessary, although you might think they are. I use the e-brake sometimes for entries, but rarely more than that. Also, I found that the shifter is useful for tollgate or car packs like VDC, but you can get away with some rather wonky paddle shifts, as long as you're aware where the wheel is during the drift. Obviously, the shifter adds some realism to road racing, but it's probably actually slower, and I miss shift occasionally with it, so it's definitely not necessary. In my opinion, 99% of the fun can be had without the e-brake or shifter. The next one on the list you may or may not need, a powered USB hub. I did some research, and in some cases people did not need a powered hub, but I definitely went with the safe choice. Also, I was on laptop when I first bought my wheel, so I had to have a USB hub, unless if I wanted to unplug my mouse every time I played. Another optional part is the NRG Wheel, which is quite a bit of money, but I wanted realism. The stock T300RS wheel is small, so when you switch to your own car, it feels unrealistic. Ironically, the NRG wheel is bigger than my GR86 wheel, so there's that as well. I also bought an adapter so I could attach the wheel to the base. You can upgrade your monitor, and I do have a 27-inch monitor nowadays, but for several years, I just used my 15-inch laptop screen and it was fine. Obviously, the bigger monitor is better, but you don't need a crazy setup to have fun with sim racing. I'll post my prior laptop specs and my current PC specs, which I've only had since March 2024, but they both run Assetto Corsa fine. Also, you will need a replacement fan and springs for your T300RS as they will eventually break. Now to the important part, the prices. Here are the prices at which I bought these items over the last 4 years. Now, inflation has been crazy, so I thought it would be much more expensive, but the prices are actually very comparable. Also, I've heard some of these items can be had on sale during certain periods. Try using an Amazon price tracker, for example, to find those times. By the way, these prices do not include Amazon shipping fees. I did not have Amazon Prime before, but I used the Amazon Prime trial, so keep that in mind. All of the other items outside of Amazon do include the shipping fees. Also, these fees are in Canadian, and that includes the USD to Canadian rate of conversion as of September 13th, 2024. Alright, I hope you found this video helpful. See you next time.